and gentlemen, I am Kasturi Kadni and today we are going to talk about the questions arising in every parent's mind at the time of their board's admission. I have heard many parents inquiring at our front desk and saying, we are in a dilemma, which board should we choose for our board? So I thought, why not to ask to an expert in education field? So here we have Dr. Raghuveer Varve sir, the principal of Podar International School ICSE. Good morning sir.
Good morning.
Sir, so please will you help our parents to answer few questions?
Certainly.
Yes. Yes, sir. So my first question to you, sir, is what are the advantages and disadvantages of ICSE and CBSE board?
Yeah, it's a very common question that haunts the parent community, whether to go for a mass class or a classy type. I meant the number of CBSE schools versus the number of ICSE schools. In our country, we have around 23,000 schools of CBSE versus around 2,500 schools of ICSE, right? So the best advantage for a parent who is in a transferable job, maybe a central government or a state government employee, where frequent transfers are there over 2 years, 3 years time, ICSE becomes a handicap because the number of schools all over the district and taluka places may not be there, whereas a CBSE school will have up to 23,000 schools. So almost everywhere you find these CBSE schools. So one of the best advantages of a CBSE school is if a parent is in a transferable job, it is better to choose a CBSE school to have schools all around wherever he gets or she gets the transfer of that. But ICSE has its own advantage. Like I said, the number of schools are less in number, so it is a classy approach wherein individual attention is given, application oriented studies will happen. To quote one rating, the Ministry of HRD in the recent past have done a survey. They compared state board, CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, IB, like it's several boards which are working in our country, and they declared that ICSE curriculum is the best curriculum in our country. So, excepting for the transferable jobs to the parent, ICSE school is supposed to be very advantageous in terms of quality of curriculum. And one of the critical difference I should mention is, if CBSE banks upon theoretical approach, a lengthy syllabus for the content, say for example a theorem in math, prove a theorem is a kind of a question that comes in CBSE. In an ICSE child, you don't find proving a theorem, but an application of that theorem in giving a solution to a problem. So the ICSE curriculum is basically an application oriented content. The children will do something in the lab, through a demonstration they'll learn, through projects they'll do something, and they'll really enjoy the learning as an experience. So critically, these are the two major differences, or you can say advantages and disadvantages between this CBSE and the ICSE curriculum.
Okay. So we can say it is a smart time management strategy. So my next question towards sir you is, many parents and even I think that ICSE is a tougher syllabus than CBSE. Is it true?
Great question. In fact, in one sentence to say, it is difficult to score less in ICSE. Or if it is a wrong conception in mind that it's a tougher syllabus to that of a CBSE, it is only bifurcated subjects in ICSE in comparison with CBSE. Suppose in CBSE you have science as one paper, we have physics, chemistry and biology as the separate papers in ICSE. Likewise in social science as one paper in CBSE, we have history, civics and geography as separate papers. Computer science is one paper in in CBSE. Here we have computer applications as another subject. Now, in the recent circular I saw from ICSE Council stating that artificial intelligence is an additional subject which is going to be added. So, application oriented curriculum is in ICSE bifurcated into papers. What is the advantage? Each paper will have a theory marks and the internal assessment mark. So there is a scheme called 80-20 scheme. 80% of the mark will be for the memory based content that the child will write in the exam to score some marks, while 20 marks is there as an internal assessment in every paper, be it physics, chemistry, biology, history, civics, geography, computer science, so it is 100 marks internals. So it is an application oriented curriculum where internal assessment has a good scope for your creative projects that you have created, submitted for the scoring to happen. So it is in place of considering ICSE being a tougher syllabus, it is an easier curriculum to score well. Like they say, no, Sanskrit you choose, you can score well in Sanskrit than in Hindi or in Marathi. ICSE is a very clever move for people who can score well with application of mind. Okay, so it's a myth to say that CBSE is easy and ICSE is tough. It's actually the reverse is true. ICSE is more comfortable for children to learn as an enjoyable experience as well as scoring well in their subjects.
Okay, so it means that ICSE is learning by doing. It is said that I do, I remember, and it's then hard to fail in ICSE.
Very much.
So, sir, my next question towards you is, what is the roadmap of a ICSE student after 10th?
Yes, it's a very prospective question that haunts the mind of parents. See, general understanding for the public should have to be like this. Up to 75-80% of 11th standard syllabus of a CBSE would be covered in the 9th standard ICSE syllabus. Likewise, 12th standard syllabus, what is there in CBSE, will be covered in the 10th standard of ICSE. So, what happens is, by the time the ICSE child who completes 10th standard, almost 80% of the board syllabus, what is to be studied in plus 1 and plus 2, is already covered in ICSE curriculum. So, what happens is, the child can completely focus on the elected subjects, selected subjects for the professional courses to join. For example, a child who passes out in ICSE will join a state board syllabus school for 11th and 12th. What they'll do, minimum time they spend in the board syllabus to study, whereas almost their fullest attention is given on an academy, a coaching center for selected subjects like the engineering or the medical or PMPD or IIT or NET, whatever the entrance exams you take up, entire focus can be there for the student with ICSE background, because board syllabus is already being covered, is only the professional course entrance exam to ponder on. So it becomes very advantageous for an ICSE child to join an extra coaching and focus on an entrance exam, because the board exam portion is already covered in his or her 9th and 10th standard. This is the best advantage. I will give a comparison also. Suppose a child of CBSE who is willing to or who is made to learn board syllabus on one side and the entrance exam content on the other side, the load is more, they cannot perform or they may not be getting full amount of time to focus on the entrance exam. So they usually take 1 year break. So after 11th and 12th, they take 1 year break. Separately they prepare for entrance coaching and then they crack and they'll get into IIT or something like that. So I have never seen, in my past 27 years, I have never seen any child from ICSE background getting 1 year break to study and then get into some professional course. So the biggest advantage for an ICSE child is by the time he or she completes 10th standard, he is already advanced in her or his preparations for the basic content of the board syllabus up to 80%, and only entrance exam portion need to be focused for further learning. Moreover, ICSE child also can appear for international board of entrance exam. We call it as SAT, Scholastic Aptitude Test. Like the children of Maharashtra write CET, NET, the national level exams. The child of ICSE can be more comfortable in not only trying for national level exams, but also could be for a beneficial factor on SAT exams to write and get into universities abroad. So hopefully I told you about the advantage of ICSE for the child, especially after 10th standard, to save time and go very focusfully towards the ambitious professional course that he or she wants to pursue.
Okay, means ICSE students not only excel at state and national level but also prove themselves at international levels.
You're right, very much.
So next question is, being in ICSE school, to beat the competition, what are the teaching strategies and study material given in your school?
Very relevant question again. In fact, any school is as good as its teachers, right? See, I remember my sir who taught me biology in my high school, even today. Because of him only, Mr. Shadakshari is my guru. Because of him only, I chose biology as my subject. You must be also recollecting, if you like a teacher, you like that subject, right? See, the attrition among schools, that means the teachers leaving the school after 1 year, 2 years, is a very common factor nowadays. As an exceptional example, Podar International ICSE Aurangabad, I am the newest person I can tell. I was only 3 years old. My teachers' team, the average of consistency with which they have worked is 12 years. Past 10, 12 years, the same teachers are teaching. Means what? They are seasoned team of members who work towards a set goal and they effectively cover the syllabus for children. So the very first advantage is the teachers' team I have. The second advantage I can quote to the parents community is, on a daily basis, we send something called a DPR, Daily Progress Report, to the parent. How many classes happened on that particular day? Which teacher has taught what concept on that day? What is the homework given? What activity was done in the school? So a first-hand information will go to the parent on a daily basis. So mischievous children, not you, can hide a very little from their parent, because daily the school is sending them what is the progress which has happened over all the 7 classes a day. Okay, that is another advantage I can proclaim. Third one is something called an anecdotal record. Now I can put it as a horoscope of every child in the school. We have around 1,000 children in school, and 1,000 horoscopes are with us. It not only says about date of birth, the blood group, the telephone number, email address of the parent, but individually how is the child? What is your interest? What you are good at? What you are not so good at? What need to be focused for the next PTM? So everything is written by the class teachers and kept as a school record. So whenever a parent comes, not only for the PTM, whenever you come, parent will have a first-hand information of every child in the school in the written form, plus minus the short-term goals, long-term goals, the teachers and their suggestions are recorded and kept in a register of the school. So there is another individual attention that would pass on to the parent through school. One more shortcut as a method we have followed from our teachers team, that is called refresher course. See, I have been repeatedly telling, in fact all my teachers tell the same thing. If a refresher course material given by our teachers in Podar ICSE, if it is perfectly read by any child, we guarantee you that the child will score distinction. Okay? So it is a shortlisted set of questions which are answered according to the board pattern by our teachers, and that material is readily available for our students on the GCR, on the Google Classroom. Only thing is the child should have to download it, read it well. Rest assured, the distinction is guaranteed in whatever the course you are doing it. So to sum up advantages in my school, to proudly say, teachers team which is consistent from past 10-12 years without any attrition. Second point that I said about daily progress report that the teacher will give to the parent, so that there cannot be mischief from any child between the school and the parent. The third one is about the anecdotal records. I said the horoscope of everyone is written and kept with class teachers, so that detailed information is registered in the school for an individual attention. Last but not the least, a shortcut method, a refresher course which gives you a guarantee of distinction if you take up a course with us, because it is an answered course material which is there as a ready material for students to learn and excel. Right? So that's about the advantages of my school, to be proudly telling about an ICSE curriculum being handled very systematically.
Sir, I have never heard this type of initiatives taken in any other school. Sir, indeed these are the signature step of ICSE, all the doubts of me and all the parents in the society. Hope you like the video. Signing off, Kasturi.
Thank you all. Visit the school once. You can have the first hand information on all of what I've told you about. Thank you.